Welcome back, YouTube fam. I am so unbelievably grateful that you are here. And today we have a super special video for you. We're diving into 5 super simple Instagram story tricks that you can leverage to save time and generate more sales with your online business. And as a juicy bonus, I'm also going to walk you through Instagram Stories' latest editing feature known as layers. 70% of Instagram's 500 million daily active users are watching Instagram stories every single day, which means that for you as a business owner, it is a absolute must when it comes to building brand awareness, building community and connection, and of course, driving sales in your online business. Now, the number one question that I get asked when I talk about leveraging Instagram stories to drive sales is how many Instagram story views do I need? And I want to share with you some information from our last 2 years of marketing on Instagram stories to help you realize that you really don't need a lot of people. On average, over the last 3 years, my personal daily story views range anywhere from 100 to 150 people and 300 on the absolute highest reach days. However, that has not stopped us from generating over $700,000 with online courses and digital products. The final tip that I will share in this video with you is going to walk you through exactly how I sell on Instagram stories, so make sure that you do watch until the end. Now that we know why Instagram stories is an important part of growing your online business, grab your phone so that you can follow along with this if you're not watching on it already. And make sure that you hit that subscribe button as we publish new videos every single Wednesday to help you grow your online course and digital product based business. That brings us to our first tip, which is to brand your Instagram stories using your own brand colors to have your content stand out from the crowd and drive brand awareness with your community. Now, branding actually comes from the farming industry when farmers would brand their livestock and their animals to help them group and separate them into different units that they could then distinguish. And while the method of branding farm animals in that way is quite archaic, the theory and the intention behind branding remains the same today. Having branded Instagram stories, and no, we don't need to do fancy aesthetic things using Canva. We're simply going to leverage color to create a branded Instagram story experience for our clients is going to allow your audience to distinguish your content from everyone else's that they're scrolling through while they're browsing through Instagram stories. And since it takes less than 30 seconds to do this when you're publishing new Instagram stories on your feed, it is an absolute must do as it allows your content to actually stand out. And the consistency of the coloring of your stories is actually going to allow you to build a lot of brand trust with your community. To make this as easy as possible for ourselves, we're going to need to create a simple graphic inside Canva that looks something like this. Now, this is the only time throughout this entire tutorial that we are going to be using Canva. So what I want you to do is head underneath this video and click the Canva template link that I have created and make sure that you open it up on your computer so you can follow along. Once you update and duplicate the template from the link underneath this video, you're going to be taken into a Canva document that looks something like this. And all that we need to do is click on each of these squares and update this to our own personal branding colors. Now, it's really, really important that you do not overthink your branding colors. Do not allow yourself to spend more than 5 or 10 minutes on this, as your branding colors are likely going to change. And for the sake of this video, I just need you to have a graphic with colors on it that look like this for the demonstration. Once you've got your colors all updated and changed, these are accurate to my current brand colors, so I'm going to leave them as is. You can simply click the share button, and in order to get it to your phone in a really clean, easy way, you're going to click this button here that says more. And then you're going to pick this option here that says send to phone. And Canva is going to give you this QR code that you can now pick up your phone and scan on your computer to get that graphic immediately on your phone for you to use. So go ahead and do that, and then let's keep going. Now, I'm going to walk you through how to use your new branded color palette on Instagram stories a little bit later on in this video. But what we want to do first is actually make sure that this color palette is very easy for us to access so that we're not scrolling through our camera roll to find it a couple of weeks from now when we actually want to put these tips into action, or ideally a few minutes from now when you actually put these tips into action. Which brings us to our second massive time-saving tip for creating Instagram stories, and that is to create a brand photos and resources folder on your phone so you can access everything you need to create stunning Instagram stories much, much faster. When I first started using Instagram stories, I wasted so much freaking time scrolling through hundreds of photos in my camera roll, just trying to find the right photo for the right story at the right time. It would sometimes take me 20 to 30 minutes to post even just one Instagram story. Let me know in the comment section down below if you can relate. So, to help myself out, I created a photo folder on my phone, which you can see previewed right here, where I could actually just store important photos, photos that I really liked, photos that I was happy to share all the time, and resources like the brand colors we just created for easy access. Now, when I'm actually creating Instagram stories, instead of scrolling through my camera roll, when I post a story, I go right into my brand photos folder. I pick a photo that I know I love because I love all the photos in that folder, and I post with way less friction. So let's get you set up to do exactly the same thing. Now, I'm using an iPhone for the sake of this tutorial, but this will work on any device you're using. And I'm going to sync my phone screen up over here so you can follow along as I do this. To create a folder inside your Photos app, it's super simple. You're going to go to the full Photos app on your phone. You're going to navigate to the Albums tab. You can see this down here on the bottom right-hand corner. And you're going to click the plus button in the top left-hand corner. Now, it's going to give you the option here to create a new album, a new folder, or a new shared album. And we're going to go ahead and create a new album. And what we're going to do is we're going to name this something that we are going to remember and something that's very simple and easy. I personally love putting an emoji at the beginning just so that it stands out from all the rest of the albums that I have saved on my phone. And I'm going to call this something simple, branding and marketing. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And what happens next if you're on an iPhone is it's going to pull up some of your recent photos that you can see a couple photos of our dog here. You can now select a few photos that you want to add into this folder. So I'm going to select the brand palette here. I'm also going to select a couple other images that I know I'm going to use for the remainder of this tutorial. But you're going to want to pause this video and spend 5 minutes or so selecting other photos, both of yourself, of your life, of your environment, that you really, really like and that you're happy to use consistently in your marketing. If you don't have any, I highly recommend having a personal at-home branding session. Set up a tripod and take a few photos so that you have some great images of yourself that you are excited and proud to use. So you're going to spend a couple minutes here selecting those photos, and then you're going to go ahead and click add. And you can see here that I have now a folder on my phone with the images that I've selected in here. Now that you have this folder created and your color palette is in that folder, along with a couple of photos of yourself, you have everything you need to follow along with the rest of this video. So let's dive into it. We're going to put these resources to work finally with our third tip, which is to create a set of branded Instagram story backgrounds for you to use consistently in your marketing. I'm curious how many times you've gone to share a post, a slide, something on your Instagram stories, and simply use the standard Instagram color background that it creates for you that looks a little something like this and this, simply because you either don't have the time to update it or because you don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things. Probably way too many. Instead, what we actually want to do is set ourselves up with some pre-created backgrounds that we can quickly grab and use when we're sharing things like testimonials, posts, polls, and whatever other random things you might be posting to your Instagram stories. Taking the 10 seconds to change up the background really does allow us to build brand awareness, create consistency with our audience, and adds a layer of professionalism that builds trust into our communities. We're going to create these backgrounds right in the Instagram Stories app and save them to our new branded folder for easy access. In this tutorial specifically, we're going to create 2 specific backgrounds and 3 general backgrounds that we can use throughout our Instagram story business building journey. That was a mouthful, but we're going to leave that in there anyways. The 2 that we're going to create that are specific is a testimonial or community wins background, as well as a new post background. So let's grab your phone and dive right into this one. You can follow along with me over here on the left-hand side. Maybe it's the right-hand side for you guys. I don't know. Either way, you can follow along. And we're going to open up the Instagram app and we're going to click the plus button in the bottom of the screen. And we're going to select story from the slider option window at the bottom. So I'm going to click story. And of course, it's going to open up a funny photo of my face like this. Now, because we're going to cover the entire background with color and image instead of an image, we're just going to take a random photo. Doesn't have to be pretty, guys. And what we're going to do next is we're going to click the smiley sticker face. So that is the square with the smiley face in the top of your screen. So I'm going to click that. And I'm going to scroll down here to the photos icon. Now, I can see mine down here beside the countdown icon. I'm going to select that. What it's going to do is it's going to bring up our recent photos. Now, usually these photos that we have here, especially our branded our little brand color palette would be buried in our camera roll. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little drop down arrow beside the word camera roll in the top left hand corner of my screen. And I'm going to go to that branding and marketing folder that we created earlier. And I'm going to select my color palette. Okay. Now, the first thing that we are actually going to create is that testimonial slide that we can use. So I am going to change the background color of my image here simply by clicking the three little dots in the top right-hand corner, grabbing that draw tool and selecting the color dropper tool on the bottom left-hand side of your screen here. So you can see I can select that color dropper. And now I get this color dropper on the actual photo that I can move around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it over my brand purple here. You're going to pick whatever color you want to use. And then I'm going to press and hold on the screen to turn the entire image purple. Okay. Now remember that right now we're creating a client wins and testimonials background for ourselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the text icon. And I like to use this cursive font personally, but you can choose whatever Instagram fonts are available that you personally really like. And I'm just going to simply write testimonials over and over again. And I'm going to narrow it down so that it's all in one line here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change this color to black, since black is one of my brand colors. I'm going to make it large and I'm going to rotate it just like this. And I'm going to slide it over onto the left-hand side of the screen. From here, I'm going to grab this color palette and I'm going to drag it into the trash can. I'm going to click the three little dots in the top right-hand corner and I'm going to click save. Now, if we navigate to our photos, we should have a new photo in here that is our brand new background that we've just created, which is awesome. We can now really easily use this when we're sharing testimonials or screenshots from our clients with our community on Instagram stories. We're going to repeat this process in the exact same way to create a background for when we put up a brand new post. So I'm going to, instead of doing the purple color here, I'm going to actually use one of our other brand colors. So I'm going to grab that palette back. I'm going to click the draw tool again, use my color dropper tool, and I'm going to select this bright yellow that I absolutely love. And I'm going to press and hold on the screen. Now you can see I have this beautiful bright yellow background. And instead of testimonials, I actually want this to say new post. So I'm going to remove all of this here. And I'm going to just type in here, new post, post, new post. Now I'm keeping mine super simple because I personally love very clean, simple branding, but you can make yours as fun or as exciting as you want to. Like I said, I'm just going to follow the same pattern that I've been doing. So I'm going to make this as large as possible. I'm going to make it larger here and I'm going to put it on the opposite side of the screen just to provide some differentiation between the two. I'm going to drag that back to the bottom and I'm going to go ahead and click save that to my folder. Now, the only other backgrounds that I personally would recommend creating is I want you guys to actually create one with each of your brand colors so that you have it on hand if you need it. So I'm actually just going to drag this text to the trash and I'm going to pull up my brand palette again. I got my brand palette here and I'm simply going to, again, use that draw tool. I'm going to pick my other brand color. I'm going to go ahead and click done. I'm going to drag this to the trash. I'm going to save this so I have it. And I'm going to repeat that process for my other brand colors with no text on them, especially the ones that I use all the time. Press and hold to change the whole background. Delete and save. So you're going to repeat that process for all of your brand colors that you guys have. Now I have these all saved in my phone. And what we're going to do next is we're simply going to head into our camera roll. And you can see now I have these brand new backgrounds on my phone that I can grab and easily use. I'm going to select them from my regular camera roll. I'm going to click the share button down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And I'm going to add to album and I'm going to select my branding and marketing album that I created originally for this tutorial. So go ahead right now, pause this video if you haven't done so already and create some Instagram backgrounds for yourself. And just to remind you, you guys don't have to keep them as simple as I have. You can feel free to use the draw tools, the stickers, any other elements inside Instagram stories that you want to use. Here are some examples of some fun ones that I've created in the past with the different paintbrush tool. I've done a polka dot one here. I've got some fun swishes happening. So really have fun with this, be creative, and allow your own personal brand and your own unique style to really come through with these backgrounds. And make sure that you do save them into that folder as we're going to use them in the next tip. Now, this next tip that I'm about to share, turning your Instagram stories into an actual sales page for your offers or your free opt ins, is honestly a tip and a tutorial that I think a lot of online business gurus would be quite upset at me for sharing. Because if you look at some of the top coaches, some of the top course creators in this industry, this is what they're doing every single day to drive sales. And most of them want you to pay them for this information. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this absolutely free in this video. When I started implementing this using Instagram stories as a sales page method in early 2021, our signups for our free offers tripled and our paid program enrollment doubled. What's definitely worth the time, and it's definitely something you want to consistently use in your business. If you truly want to see this in action, you can also scroll through any of my Instagram story highlights because I use this method for absolutely everything that we've ever sold or created through Instagram stories. Okay. So, how do we actually make these? How do we actually turn our Instagram into a sales page? Grab your phone and let's dive in. We're actually going to use the same skills we leverage to make those Instagram story backgrounds to build our sales pages. So don't stress, you already have absolutely everything that you need to get through the rest of this tutorial. In order to turn your Instagram stories into a sales page, we are going to create 3 distinct slides or stories that are going to answer commonly asked questions. And we're going to do that together. Again, you can follow along on the left-hand side of the screen here. The first slide that we're going to create is going to outline what your offer or freebie is going to be and the outcome that they'll receive upon purchase. So this works great, guys, for free offers as well as paid offers. The second slide is going to outline who your offer is for and what problem it solves. And that third slide is going to provide the nitty-gritty details and provide a link to register for your clients, okay? For the example that we're going to go through today, I'm actually going to create a sales page for a freebie that we have called 300 Instagram Story Sales Prompts. And I've included a link underneath this video for you guys to actually use. So we're going to open up Instagram here and get started. And we're going to, again, go to our Instagram stories. And I'm going to just select one of my already pre-created backgrounds to use for this. Again, this is another really great, easy way that these backgrounds come in handy. I'm going to select this purple background simply because I like it. And essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to add either a simple image here. I have a simple image in my phone, which I'm going to pull up here. I created this in Canva, but you guys do not need to do this. You guys can simply use an image of yourself if that's all you have here. And essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to add a simple title here and a slight or a small description to help our audience understand what it is that we're actually offering them. So what essentially this opt-in is a year of Instagram stories that are done for you for free. So I'm just going to type that in here, a year of Instagram stories done for you for free. I'm going to update the color to black just so it stands out. And I'm going to put that as my center justified here. And then we also want to add a quick tagline. I like to think of the tagline as like, what is the vibe of this offer? What are they really going to receive from this? Now, to save us time, I've actually copied this into my notes section. So I'm just going to pull that up for us here. So I'm just going to copy this just to make it easy as possible for us. And I'm going to paste this in here. And I'm going to switch up the text here just so that it's a little bit easier to read. And I'm also going to make it a little bit more fun simply by putting a couple of eyeball emojis down here on the bottom to make it a little bit more visible here. Now you can obviously use that color palette background to switch up the colors here, which I'll show you guys how to do just really quickly, just for the sake of this tutorial. Let's just say I want to turn this into one of my branded color backgrounds. I can do so by simply doing this. And once I have this done, you guys are going to hit publish on yours because we want to use this right now. But I'm simply going to hit save. And just a reminder that if you do hit save on these, you can repurpose these and use them again. You can share these freebies, these small sales pages with your audience once a week to drive more leads into your offers, or to have signups for your webinars, or to drive actual sales. So I'm just going to go ahead and click save on this. And now we're going to make that second slide. And remember that the second slide that you guys want to create is really going to share with your people who this offer is for. Okay. So you want to answer the what problems are they struggling with and who specifically is this for? Now, I'm going to simply delete the elements that I have on this page with the exception of these top two sections here, just so that I'm maintaining that kind of awareness and consistency between these two slides. And I'm going to head over here and just grab this copy here that I've pre-created. It simply says you need to get your hands on these prompts if. And again, remember, we're positioning this as the context that our clients need to determine whether or not this is something that they should be prioritizing getting their hands on. So you're simply answering the question, you need to get your hands on these prompts if, or you need to sign up for this offer if, or you need to download this workbook if. And I'm going to also copy and paste the pre-created text that I have here. Guys, it's really, really important that you don't overthink this. Really just think, who did I make this for? What are they currently struggling with? And who are they at the core of who they are, right? Who are they at the core of who they are? So I'm just going to change the text here to black just for the sake of this tutorial. And here we have it. Okay, so really simple. I've just said who it's for. I've noted a couple of the problems that this solves. And then I have included who it's for in the bottom there. And then I've also included a call to action here. Now, I don't like having this call to action actually be looped in the same color. I want this to stand out. So I'm going to pop it into another separate text bubble. And I'm going to put it on a background color that stands out a little bit more. I'm just going to do white for the sake of this tutorial, but you would want to do this in your brand colors. And your call to action should be something really clear. You can definitely use the link here, but what I like to do is tell people to DM me a specific word. And this really truly allows me to drive engagement and kind of trick the algorithm into thinking there's more engagement happening on my account than there usually is. And again, once you guys have this complete, you guys are going to actually hit publish to your stories. But because I'm doing this for the sake of demonstration, I'm actually just going to click save and put this into my camera roll. Once you have that secondary slide, it's now time for the third slide, which is what I like to call the nitty-gritty detail slide. This is for all the logical buyers out there who want to know all the details before they buy or before they actually download something. What's included? How does it work? What time are the calls? All of that fun stuff. That's the third slide inside your Instagram sales page series. Wow, that's a mouthful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the bottom half of this again, just for the sake of this tutorial. And again, I've pre-created the text here for myself. So I've got a fun little warning that I'm going to put at the top here. Warning will save you time and generate sales. Okay, again, this is just like another fun little what's the vibe tagline that I can post in here. Warning will save you time and generate sales. And I'm just going to put in a couple of emojis here to make this stand out. And I'm just going to size it appropriately here. Warning will save you time and generate sales. And then again, remember, we're putting in the nitty gritty details. So we have a saying here that says, here's what you need to know. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste this. Here's what you need to know. And I'm going to copy and paste the 3 elements here as well. So I have here, it's completely free. You'll get instant access once you sign up. It's all organized in a beautiful Notion dashboard that allows you to plan your stories in advance and brainstorm ideas. So I'm going to copy this over here. Again, I'm going to open back up my Instagram stories and paste that in there. I'm going to adjust the alignment of the text here. And I'm going to remove that background and turn this text black, just for the sake of being consistent. And I like to add a little bonus on everything that I put out there. So I have this little bonus copy, says bonus. You can actually use these prompts to write content, emails, or even as inspiration for your video content. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it over here. And again, guys, usually I would be updating this with our brand colors. And I think I will here just to show you guys how quick and easy it is. I'm going to grab that palette. I'm going to put this in that bright yellow that I love. I'm going to put this in that bright pink that I love. Here we go. I'm going to delete that palette. Make sure that you're not posting that palette to your stories. I've done it 100 times. It's not a super big deal, but we do want to do our best to remove it. I'm going to just move all of this up because the one thing that I do want you guys to do on this final slide here is actually put the link for them to grab it. So I am going to click the sticker icon. And I'm going to select the link in the bottom left-hand slide here, just beside this slider option. And I'm just going to put in the link here. You want to update that sticker text. And then I like to switch the coloring of it to this black and white one just because it aligns better with our brand. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and save, but you're going to go ahead and hit publish. And there you have it. You now know exactly how to create sales pages directly on Instagram stories to increase brand awareness and drive conversions on your free offers and your paid offers. In this video, I covered 5 really simple tips, and I also promised you that I would break down the new Instagram story features layers. And while I wanted to include it in this video, it is getting a little bit long. So I already have a tutorial up on my Instagram as a reel. I've linked directly to that reel underneath this video for you guys to figure out and learn how to use that new feature. It will come in handy as you guys are sharing your own photos or your own posts to your Instagram stories feed. This has been super fun with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a solid comment down below. Let me know which tip you're putting into action. And don't forget to hit that subscribe video because we put out new videos every single week for you to help you grow your online course or digital product based business. See you next week.